Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are tackling a pretty massive undertaking.
We really are.
We're diving into a text that, since 1937 has just shaped the whole philosophy of success for generations. Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
And this isn't your typical business book. It's something else. It's based on 2 solid decades of research.
Yeah, intensive research.
Where Hill, who was, inspired and actually funded by Andrew Carnegie, he analyzed over 500 of the world's most successful men.
So today, our goal is to guide you through that foundational structure. We're looking at the first 6 of the 13 steps to riches.
Right.
And our mission really is to get at the mechanism. How does this philosophy claim to take something totally intangible like a thought?
A thought impulse, yeah.
And turn it reliably into actual material wealth? It's a huge claim.
It's a massive claim, but the core principle is startlingly simple.
It is, isn't it?
If you strip everything else away, all the anecdotes, the one big realization is this, and it's right from the source. All achievement, all earned riches have their beginning in an idea.
That's the secret. Carnegie just dropped that on Hill and basically said, go spend your life proving this.
Exactly.
So the real work for us and for you is figuring out how to take that initial thought and give it the force and the structure to make it real.
And let's start exactly where the book says you have to begin. Step 1, desire.
And Hill is so clear about this. This isn't just, a gentle wish or some casual hope.
No, not at all.
He calls it a keen, pulsating, and definite obsession. Why is that emotional intensity so important?
Because the road ahead is it's going to be hard. It's filled with what he calls temporary defeat. So that desire has to be intense enough to be the fuel.
You have to be willing to stake everything on it.
Exactly. And we see this perfectly in the story of Edwin C. Barnes and Thomas Edison.
Right. Barnes didn't just want a job for Edison.
No, he wanted to be a business associate with him. It was one definite, all-consuming obsession.
And the way he got there, that detail about his arrival really says it all. The sources say he arrived via blind baggage.
Blind baggage, for anyone who doesn't know, that means riding on a freight train, hidden.
Super dangerous. So this isn't a man in a nice suit with a resume. This is a tramp, covered in soot, showing up at Edison's lab and demanding a partnership.
Pure, unadulterated desire. And Edison, being this, incredible judge of character, he saw it right away.
He saw that look on his face.
Yeah, that look of determination. He said that when a man desires something so deeply that he stakes his whole future on it, he is sure to win.
But it didn't happen overnight.
No, not at all.
Barnes took a menial job and waited for 5 years. 5. But he never lost sight of his goal.
He kept telling himself, I came here to go into business with Edison, and I'll accomplish this if it takes the rest of my life. That patience, fueled by that obsession, is everything.
And then the opportunity comes, but it's disguised, right?
As this queer-looking new machine, the Ediphone.
And Barnes just seized it. He proved he could sell it when nobody else could. And that earned him the national distribution contract, a 30-year alliance.
All from that one definite desire.
So that's the positive example. But Hill gives us the flip side, the painful one, to really drive the point home.
Are you Darby and the gold mine?
Oh, this one hurts to read.
It does. He and his uncle find gold, but then the vein disappears. They get discouraged, and without consulting any experts, they just quit.
And they sell all their equipment for almost nothing to a junk man.
And this is the part that makes you just cringe.
I know.
The junk man immediately hires a mining engineer who finds the gold vein just 3 feet from where the Darbys stopped digging.
3 feet.
3 feet. The junk man took millions in ore just because he knew the value of expert advice and persistence.
So the lesson is that temporary defeat is never permanent failure.
Not unless you accept it as such in your mind. Darby learned that brutal lesson, and it made him a massive success in his next career because he vowed never to quit again.
Okay, so that's the emotional drive. Now, what about the mechanics? Hill gives 6 very practical, very definite steps.
Yeah, and definiteness is the key word. First, fix the exact amount of money you want. No vague, I want to be rich.
Be specific.
Very. And 2, determine exactly what you'll give in return. Hill is clear on this. There's no such thing as something for nothing.
You have to pay the price.
Yep.
And then 3rd, set a definite date.
4th, create a definite plan, and this is crucial. Begin immediately, whether you feel ready or not.
Just take that first step.
Exactly. 5th, write it all down in a clear statement. It forces you to be concise.
And finally, step 6, which kind of bridges us to the next phase.
Right. You read that statement aloud twice a day, morning and night.
But not just reading it, right? You have to see, feel, and believe yourself already in possession of the money.
That's the key. It's an intense psychological exercise. And that takes us from raw desire to actually programming your mind.
Which is where faith and autosuggestion come in, steps 2 and 3.
So step 2 is faith. Hill calls it the head chemist of the mind.
What a metaphor. What does he mean by that?
He means it's the element that gives life, power, and action to your thoughts. It's the eternal elixir that connects your thought impulses with what he calls infinite intelligence.
So it's about achieving an absolute, unwavering state of belief.
A peak performance mental state, yeah. And the delivery system for that belief is step 3, autosuggestion.
Which is basically influencing your subconscious mind through your 5 senses, right?
Yeah.
Self-administered stimuli.
Yes, but here's the instruction that almost everyone misses. It's so important. The subconscious mind only acts on thoughts that are mixed with intense emotion.
Emotion or feeling.
Especially faith or love or sex. Plain unemotional words just don't work.
That's kind of terrifying. You're saying the subconscious is totally indiscriminate.
Precisely.
So if I just feed it negative thoughts, the system works against me.
It works against you just as powerfully. The subconscious is neutral. It translates negative thoughts, like fear and doubt, into physical reality just as readily as positive ones.
So Hill is saying millions of people are literally creating their own misfortunes.
Yes, because they're feeding their subconscious the wrong beliefs day in and day out.
Which makes the practical tools for this, like the self-confidence formula, so vital.
It's all about intense self-management, like concentrating for 30 minutes a day on the person you intend to become.
And actively clearing out the negative stuff. Hatred, envy, jealousy.
By developing love for all humanity, you're basically clearing the negative input stream so the positive commands can get through.
And when this is done right, when a definite idea is mixed with faith, the results can be, well, explosive.
Absolutely. The case study of Charles M. Schwab and the creation of U.S. Steel is the perfect example.
So Schwab gives this 90-minute speech to J.P. Morgan and other huge financiers.
Right, at this dinner in 1900. And he wasn't just giving a report. He was laying out this massive, definite idea to consolidate the entire steel industry.
An idea he had total faith in. And he delivered it with such persuasive detail.
And J.P. Morgan was convinced. But this is the proof of concept, right? Converting the intangible into the tangible.
The idea itself.
Yes, Schwab's idea alone, a mere thought backed by unwavering faith, was the catalyst for creating U.S. Steel. The appraised value of the properties immediately jumped by an estimated $600 million.
Instantly.
An instantaneous financial profit born entirely from one structured, definite, intangible idea.
An idea worth $600 million in 1900. That's the scale we're talking about. Okay, so moving on, let's talk about the actual building blocks, specialized knowledge and imagination, steps 4 and 5.
Specialized knowledge, step 4, is so key. But the source makes a really critical distinction here.
It's that knowledge itself is only potential power. Right?
Exactly. General knowledge, the kind you'd get from a dozen university degrees, well, it's often not enough.
Like the example of the university professors who have all this knowledge, but often very little money.
Because that knowledge isn't organized and directed through a definite plan.
This brings us to that great Henry Ford story.
The libel trial, yeah. They're asking him all these general history questions to make him look ignorant.
And he just fires back, "Why should I clutter up my mind with general knowledge when I have men around me who can supply any knowledge I require?"
That's it. Ford had very little formal schooling, but through his mastermind group, he had all the specialized knowledge he needed on demand.
So the educated person isn't the one who knows everything.
No, it's the one who knows where to get knowledge and how to organize it. It's about knowledge management.
And you process that knowledge in step 5, imagination, the workshop of the mind.
And Hill breaks this down into 2 types.
Right. First, there's synthetic imagination.
Which is arranging old concepts and ideas into new combinations. You're working with existing material.
And then there's the other kind, creative imagination.
This is where the big breakthroughs come from, the hunches, the inspirations.
The light bulb moments.
Yes. And he says this faculty only works when the conscious mind is stimulated by a strong, definite desire.
The story of Coca-Cola, the enchanted kettle, is a great illustration of this.
It is. An old doctor sells a secret formula on a slip of paper, plus an old kettle, to Asa Candler for $500.
And the doctor never saw the potential.
No. The ingredient Candler added was pure imagination. He could see this simple thing as a global product That's what turned a piece of paper into an empire that survived the Great Depression.
We see that same power, mixing imagination with a definite decision with Dr. Gonzalez.
He needed $1 million for the Armor Institute, and he spent almost 2 years just thinking about it.
Just wishing for it.
Right. The breakthrough came when he made a definite decision to get the money within 1 week. The moment he did that, everything changed.
He preached a sermon titled, "What I Would Do If I Had $1 Million."
A very specific, imaginative plan. And Philip D. Armour was in the congregation. He was so inspired by the sheer definiteness of the plan that he gave him the full $1 million 36 hours later.
Wow. It shows how fast things can move once a thought becomes a plan.
Which sets the stage perfectly for Phase 4, organized planning. Step 6. This is where desire leaves the workshop and becomes concrete action.
And the mastermind concept is at the heart of this. You can't do big things alone.
And Hill gives very explicit, non-negotiable rules for creating that alliance.
Structurally, you need to ally with the right people, decide how you'll compensate them, and meet regularly, at least twice a week.
But the single most important rule is the emotional one. You must maintain perfect harmony.
He really emphasizes that.
He does. The mastermind principle cannot function where there's conflict or distrust. Disharmony leads directly to failure.
Which is so important because plans will fail. Temporary defeat is part of the process.
And when they fail, the leader has to rebuild. You're only really defeated when you quit in your own mind. That's the difference between a winner and a loser.
We always come back to Edison. 10,000 failures before he perfected the light bulb. The winner never stops trying to find a better plan.
And this need for persistence really defines effective leadership. The source lists these traits:
Unwavering courage, self-control, definiteness of decision.
willingness to do more than you're paid for, cooperation.
And conversely, the causes of failure are brutally clear.
Inability to organize details, unwillingness to do humble service, and this one is big, fear of competition from your followers. A real leader hires people smarter than they are.
There's also a powerful historical lesson in here, too.
Yeah, that leadership by force can't last. The future demands leadership by consent, based on cooperation, a partnership.
So as we wrap up these first 6 steps, desire, faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, and organized planning, what's the deepest insight you want our listener to take away?
I think the most empowering takeaway is this: there are no limitations to the mind except the ones we acknowledge ourselves. Both poverty and riches are simply the offspring of thought.
Your circumstances are a physical manifestation of your dominant thoughts.
Exactly.
So you really are the master of your own destiny, not because of luck, but because you have the power to control your thoughts and influence your subconscious.
And to leave you with a final thought, Hill quotes this amazing poem that captures the whole philosophy. I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. That any wage I had asked of life, life would have willingly paid.
And that's the challenge we'll leave you with. What is the highest wage, the biggest goal you are determined to bargain for? And what definite plan will you use to claim it? Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.